Welcome to the foggy day here on the farm. My name is Wesley. This is One Lonely Farmer. If you've been here forever or just showing up, you're going to see a whole bunch of weird stuff. And today I'm going to show you what happens when you plant wheat in September and it hasn't rained for 47 days. It is now December something or other. It's December 10th. I would have said it was this like the 9th or something, but it's December 10th. I now have wheat that is sprouting and growing. It's a good thing we planted it thick, but I'm going to show you the different stages and I'll explain to you why they are in different stages. And I really, truly wish that it didn't go down like this, but it has, and there's nothing we can do about it. And the real question is this wheat going to make wheat? And I'm hoping the answer is yes, but there's nothing I can do at this point in time. So here we go. Let me, 1, 2, 3, and all right. So we've got multiple stages of wheat here. We have the wheat like this that came up and is growing since we planted it. After we took the soybeans off, just a few short days, after we took the beans off, we ran a vertical tillage, spun it, and then ran the vertical tillage machine on. This is some of the first. You can see the damage here from the drought, wind burn drought. Then we had a new growth that came in. There was some more, but if you look, and I mean look really carefully, you can see all the sprouted wheat and unsprouted wheat that is here just taking off and growing. So this is going to leave us in a weird position. Is this wheat going to amount to anything? It all depends on the weather. And the weather right now is actually quite good for the situation that we're in. It's not too cold. It's in the upper 40s, which is still going to allow this wheat to grow a little bit. It's not only is it in the upper 40s, but it's finally damp enough to actually keep it going, putting roots in the ground. Well, here's a better example of when it came up the way it was supposed to come up. Right there. See that? And then you get into this spot here, like where you see wheat that is sitting on top of the ground, that is just now putting down roots, right? No top on it, just roots, and that's a good thing. But if you look real close, you can see all that wheat there is coming up. So what's the worst thing that can happen for this wheat that would cause it to not produce anything? We put this on at 4.5 bushels to the acre, possibly 5. I'm going to say conservatively 4.5 bushels to the acre. We spun it on with the fertilizer spreader and ran the vertical tillage machine over top of it, and it sat there and 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 sat there for literally 2 months. I got to turn this thing off. My phone has disconnected from the truck and now I'm getting music, so hold on a second. So that's enough of that. Yeah, so it sits there and sits there. Now the negative thing that can happen to it is that it stops raining for the remainder of the winter. Moisture stops, whether it comes in rain or snow. Let's just say precipitation. If it stops precipitating, right? If it stops precipitating, then we're going to have nothing. We're going to have nothing. I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to show you what it looks like. You can see where the vertical tillage machine cut in a little bit more, and or there was a ridge here, and then you have this spot here, which is a low spot. And you can see, if you look close enough, that there is a shit ton of wheat seed sitting on top of the ground. You see it there? It's everywhere. It's swollen. It's not really growing. It's not doing a very good job at getting going. Probably not going to amount to anything in that spot. But then you see this, and this, and this, and this. It's all over the place. And these, you just start seeing them like, oh wow, there is actually wheat coming up through the ground. Now, as you know, soft red winter wheat needs to freeze in order to complete its cycle, to make it so that it produces grain. And it doesn't take much freezing, but we really would like to see no gaps in the field at all. None. I don't want to see gaps. So when you're looking and you see these, these fresh ones here, like this, all throughout, and I mean all throughout the field, and hey, how you doing? I'm just checking wheat, seeing what it's gonna do, if it's gonna work or not. Well, I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, if we get snow, hopefully I'm where I wanted to be. If we get snow, if we get snow, and it stays snow covered and does not dry out from wind and excessively frozen ground that doesn't allow moisture to permeate down through it, this wheat will be garbage. And it won't be the end of the world, other than I won't have any summer money to pay my bills, which is going to be a pain in the neck. But what it will be, what I'll do is I'll just plant through it. I'll plant beans and corn right through it, or beans or corn right through it. Probably soybeans. I'm not too keen on planting too much corn this coming year, just because 3 years of having mixed results with corn. It's just, and it's not because of my abilities, it's because of the weather. I was just talking to the people that were shouting, saying Merry Christmas to me, and they're asking about the, what do I think about the difference in the weather? And I was like, weather's always changing. You can't just say, oh, it's climate change, because the climate's always changing. Global warming. I just think that we're leaving that solar maximum, and pretty soon we're going to be heading into colder weather, and everybody's going to be like, oh my God, we're going into a mini ice age or something stupid like that. But it is what it is. We'll be okay one way or the other. But yeah, so that's just where we're at. And the wheat's the wheat. If I see wheat hit $6 a bushel, I'll contract 10,000 bushels, and we'll see where it goes from there. If the wheat comes and it looks like it's going to do better than that, then I'll contract for more. I'll contract some more, but I'm only going to utilize about 200 of the 400 acres of wheat that I've got in the ground anyway. The rest of it can get planted through, and there'll be late soybeans anyway, so I'll have early beans and late beans, and we'll see how that goes. But there's 100 acres down below there, and yeah, there's there's got to be 400 acres of soybeans, or 100 acres of wheat. But 200 to 300, let's say 200 to 300 acres of wheat is what we're going to have. And we'll move on from that into double crop beans, which I think I'm going to terminate the wheat with with glyphosate. With glyphosate. And that should about sum that up. But I got some new tools, and I'm going to show you those in a few minutes.